the fire. I'm setting all the captives free, but I'm hanging by a wire. All those suckers know my name, but I just gotta fight the fight. They love to play those dirty games. From the dark will come a light. Look out, I'm coming. Look out, I'm a dangerous man. Shaking like the Holy Ghost. Better run and be afraid. They tremble when they hear my voice. I knew there would come a day. They say that I'm a wanted man. They got a bounty on my head. They're drawing lines up in the sand, but I'll rise up from the dead. Look out, I'm a trouble man. Look out, I'm a dangerous man. Yeah. Oh, I'm a dangerous man. Yeah. Oh, I will survive. I'll stand and fight. Better run and hide. 'Cause I'm a dangerous man. Look out, I'm coming. Look out, look out, I'm a trouble man. Look out, I'm a dangerous man. Oh, I'm a dangerous man. Oh, I'm a dangerous man. I will survive. I'll stand and fight. Better run and hide. 'Cause I'm a dangerous man. I'm gonna survive. Gonna stand and fight. Oh, 'cause I'm a dangerous man.
Happy Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. It's Chris and Mark with the NWA Exchange Podcast, the only podcast you need to listen to know everything about Bella Vista and beyond, and then some, son. The Stool Bus has left the station. I think we're going to have to talk about it. Let's get into it. What's going on, man? We thought we was on the cool bus, but apparently we're on the stool bus, right?
Oh man, what a beautiful day today! Dude.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just awesome.
Yeah, we rode out to soccer practice tonight, man. Me and the kid.
Okay.
You know, we ate dinner, early dinner. We have to do early dinner. You know, soccer practice in full effect. And then we rode down to the soccer fields, and he did soccer practice. I did a little bit of one-wheeling excursions.
Is that over by Cooper? Is that where you guys are playing?
Yeah, the
Okay.
soccer Sporting Arkansas. And I made it all the way up to the bend, man. They've made some progress on that little connector, the hill over there. Hopefully soon they'll get that sucker done, man, and I can be like riding all the way up to the Bentonville Square and stuff. But with that hill being the way it is, and they've got some gravel by the bridge that they've put in some really thick crushed gravel stuff. Right. Trying to kind of improve that area from the ramp by the bend up to the old, I guess that's old 71, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the old off ramp, I guess. They've got that kind of all tore up right now, so hopefully they'll get that done pretty soon. But I mean, the weather's getting nice. It was so beautiful today.
I know.
Shout out to Stacy for throwing us a like a couple minutes
Thanks,
ago.
Stacey.
We appreciate the support as always.
Ryan,
And
too.
all the viewers. Ryan, we appreciate it. Looks like we got Steve Markle watching. Hey, Steve, what's up? Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, we talk about everything Bella Vista and beyond and then some. But tonight's focus is going to be the city council meeting that took place yesterday. Luckily, you were able to make it out there. I was able to attend virtually thanks to our awesome local independent videographer, Kevin Dooley, out of LIBV TV. Still doing the service, man. I mean, like, it's Johnny on the spot with a tripod and a camera, man.
Yeah, I saw him over there. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. He was into it, and it seems like all the city departments are attending this. I don't know if this is mandatory for them.
Well, there's a lot of questions. And
Yeah.
what better way to have those questions answered by the capable and competent experts in all of our community development services or fire and police services, city planning services, and all that jazz, right?
Yeah.
100% all competent. I still think that we have a lot of residents that are competent and knowledgeable and stuff. So we can't discount those residents as being probably more knowledgeable than your average underpaid government employee.
Right.
Just saying, right? But, you know, they're the experts by title, and we're just the lowly minions. But just wanted to go out there and, you know, give a shout out to everybody who chose to speak up yesterday. Got a couple that I want to talk about after reviewing it and letting it marinate a little bit. One of those people is Lori Frank. She spoke down at the Capitol building during the committee sessions and stuff. Did an excellent job at stating her case. Very knowledgeable, very professional, and thoughtful whenever she speaks. And so shout out to her for once again standing up and demanding better of our elected leaders in Bella Vista. But she brought up this stigma thing as well. And so during our time during the stump dump, if you remember, Mark, every time I would get up or anybody from the stump dump would speak up regarding the terrible situation that people and their families went through, the city had a way of painting these people in a bad light, right? Because they demanded clean air. They demanded the city do something.
Right. Yeah,
that made sense. I mean, but they turned everybody into the black sheep of the the flock. And it's funny that people speaking out and demanding constitutional rights be upheld, and that we pass common sense legislation versus tyrannical legislation. These people are also ostracized. Even to the point where Larry Wilm said during the work session that these people were speaking bad about Bella Vista. No, sir. No, they weren't. They were speaking about your dumbass for voting yes to this tyrannical ordinance. So take it personal if you want.
That's what it was. He was making something personal. The reason why it's there now is because of the government overreach, man. That's why we are where we are.
Yeah.
If anything, they're trying to clean up the city's mess.
Well, they're just trying to find clarity and a path forward, right? And so that ties into one of the gentlemen that spoke regarding the insurance rider and stuff, and the comments made by the city attorney that the insurance isn't good enough. It's insurance, but it's not real insurance, right? Well, excuse me, Mr. Attorney, what insurance would meet your criteria for this specific situation? Since I am a homeowner. And I have an insurance policy for my house, and then the company that actually advertises my house is giving me $1 million policy on top of it for liability. Obviously, there are some restrictions on there, but you could say the same thing for any insurance carrier out there. There are restrictions. Apparently, you're an expert in insurance, but you couldn't figure out who was liable for the stump dump either. There, Perry Mason Jr., right?
Yeah, nobody wants to say anything there,
Right. I mean, I'm just tired of the tools sitting here acting like they know more than the average Joe. I started looking into the Arkansas bar exam. I started taking some sample quizzes on it, and it's not that hard, bro. It's really not that hard. So again, I got to have a 4-year degree, and then I got to go to the 3-year law school, right? Well, don't quit your day job, Chris. But you know what I'm saying? Like, being knowledgeable and being able to disseminate and read information and absorb it, and then being able to regurgitate specific information when it's applicable is not really a hard skill set for anybody who's ever served in the military. We do it all the time, right? Yeah. And so, I'm not saying I'm Perry Mason either, right? I mean, he might have tricks up his sleeves. I don't know. Looks like he got a case of narcolepsy half the time, but I don't know. I don't want to beat up people too much, but I'm just at what point do we realize somebody's got to be the adult room says, "Hey guys, we might have messed up. We might have messed up. Maybe we did go a little too far." Right?
And yeah, you would think that would be the case, but 5 minutes before the meeting is adjourned, they go into their.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll see it. I don't know if you pulled some of that towards the
end.
Oh,
I got it, brother. Yeah. So
I'll hold off before I comment on it.
Well, what's your? I want you were physically there. What was your summarization? Give everybody your summarization as being somebody who physically attended. I know it was noisy from the camera perspective. A lot of people chattering in the background.
Yeah. So the problem was, and this is the first time I really encountered that. There was people in the background just talking. And there's phones going off. I mean, it was just such distractions. And Kevin,
was these people from the city planning commission though? I think they were, right?
What's that?
Weren't these people that were actually appointed to city planning commission? They should know better than to leave their phones unmuted and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a circus. I mean, I couldn't hear when they were talking, and I heard people chattering in the back and phones going off. I mean, it was just
sound like they need to move, because when they did that last time, the last one we went to, I think the Bella Vista Community Television had a table kind of in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
and they were yapping left and right, right?
Yeah.
Sound like somebody needed to be moved to the back of the room. For reals.
Yeah, I mean, it's your. The agenda, the breakdown, the going through each section, and I mean, I'm still kind of I'm confused by the conversion on the residential R1 properties to C1 and how it was an accident and it was overlooked. I mean, I just find it hard to believe you're going to overlook something like that and you're going to purchase it and build off a residential with some commercial property. How that would be missed through the person buying it, from the title company, from the city, from the state. I'm just not buying what you're selling.
There was a statement made by Councilman Fowler in his little, why I go out and do kumbaya in the woods on private property and walk it and lay down and become one with the land and ask the land what it wants to be whenever it grows up. But there was a statement he made before he got into that about zoning and accidental zoning or zoning omissions and errors. But I've got some questions. We're going to get into that in a minute, man, because I want him to speak what he spoke, and we're going to play that back, and then we're going to dissect this little piece, this little nugget too, right?
But here's the thing. So here's what confused me, and this is something I picked up on it. It wasn't just one property. There were several properties were converted from R1 to C1. It's not like, hey, there was an accident here. I think I could think of 5 to 7 of them, somewhere in that area. Then the gentleman from Cooper came up and, to tell him, this is, we created this community. We're behind everybody 100%. Listen, man, they're a business. All right.
They're a cancer, bro. They're not a business. They've been running amok in Bella Vista for years. They held up the Look at the Little Sugar Creek, okay? Bentonville acquired that land from the Trailblazers. The property was given to the Trailblazers. At that point, Cooper's like, I washed my hands of it, right?
Right.
Okay. And then the Trailblazers like, man, this is just, we got a problem with this dam and stuff. So they deeded it over to the city of Bentonville.
Right.
City of Bentonville was like, well, we should do something about this dam that's failing. Thanks to our friends over at Little Sugar Creek pushing that initiative up the hill, right? But you got Cooper now intervening in this, saying, well, no, we had a deed restriction that says this has to remain a damned pond, right? That's not the truth, because nobody ever put that in the title or the deed, right? There was nothing that showed that. It was apparently just an agreement between somebody who never took the approval for, let's go ahead and accept this gift, right? Yeah. Let's accept this from the Trailblazers. And that one, I don't even think followed proper procedure on top of it. But now Bentonville's on the hook for doing something with this failed dam, which is doing nothing but polluting Little Sugar Creek. If you've gone down there recently, trust me, man, right now is the time to go walk that section and behind the dam and stuff.
Yeah.
Check it out while the trees are thin. You can do it safely from the stream bank. Look at how much of I need to get the drone out there. I need to get the drone out there and show because
it's disgraceful, man.
I know before this winter I flew it and we did a measurement to see how much erosion is, and how much concrete and asphalt and everything else under the sun that's going down in the waterways. I mean, this is pollution. Right. I mean, asphalt is not something that just comes out of the ground, y'all.
We also know we've verified it too, that there's been preferential treatment with people in Bella Vista with combining lots with Cooper. We know this for a fact, Chris. We know this. Yeah. And if they want to come on, feel free. We'd like to have that conversation. I have the information. I can provide it to them. We can have more discussion on it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. You got, your legacy built Bella Vista, and you got Ponch from Chips out here to do commercials and stuff back in the day, and people were buying lots, and but what has Cooper done lately? What have they done lately? I know they've torn down a bunch of stuff over on 71. So if you come in, if you're not first off, we have a bypass now, right? So if you're driving into Northwest Arkansas, most likely you're taking the bypass. You're not driving the 71B, right? But if you do drive 71B, when you enter Bella Vista, what do you see? Well, first off, I'm going to just give my personal account of coming back from Missouri tonight, right? I smelled it before I entered Arkansas, and that was the wastewater treatment plant.
Right.
Then on top of it, man, you got just basically nothing. You got some houses off to the right, off the golf course after you get past Stankville. You got some golf courses. Looks really nice in the springtime and stuff like that. But then you get to, I guess, the first overpass, and that's where the police department, fire department is currently. You've got torn down buildings on one side. You got torn down buildings on the other side. Wires and all types of stuff hanging out of that whenever they did the demo, right? And you don't see anything else until you get up to Shredders, right? Which is, I don't know, closed right now. And I would think that we're a dying city. Would you not?
Yeah, I mean, Randy Murray pointed that out too. A lot of the business is going north into Pineville or south into Bentonville. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's so that tax monies that are able to support a community just aren't going to us.
Yeah. Even Michelle agreed. It looks like a dying city. Yep. And so we've got this really awesome advertising campaign that's going out from the Advertising and Promotion Commission, sharing out private individuals' photos of their excursions on the weekends or photos they took of ducks landing spread eagle and stuff. I'm calling them out, right? Stuff that a third grader could be doing and just sharing out things they like from that page. A lot of tax money is going into that, right? I'm sure they're doing other things, though. I'm sure they are. Right. It just doesn't make sense, right? We're sitting here promoting this place as if it's Bentonville, right? Not a lot really going on here that's not operated by the POA. That becomes problematic because POA continually chips away at our amenities that we pay for that are exclusive and private, and they open it up to the general public.
Right. Yeah.
So really, what is the city doing for us at this point?
Well, costing us more money.
Creating headaches
costing the taxpayers
people.
More money is what they're doing. Right. I mean, the payout on the you get the POA, but it looks like this could end up in losing more money. So yeah. We'll see what happens.
Well, I can tell you one thing's for sure, what the city's doing, and that's they're creating hardships on people who bought into the dream of Bella Vista or found, I kind of like living in the woods of Bella Vista.
I do too. Yeah.
It's where else you can find a place like this in Northwest Arkansas, where your neighbors are like right up on top of you, right? You're not going to find it anywhere else. Unless you want to live down South Arkansas, well, you know how that one goes, right? Every time you walk outside, you run a little bit of risk of getting somebody ticked off at you, firing something over your way. Anyhow, that being said, I want to go into the Bella Vista City Council meeting. Strange, oddly enough, there was no public response, right? I don't think I heard anybody speak back to the people who spoke.
Yeah, I thought I think Larry was at one time was gonna say something, but then I saw Flynn kind of look over. So
don't you even know?
Yeah.
I know they're under a lawsuit, right? So they're probably cautioning people to be careful with what you say, right?
Right.
But you still have. I mean, I don't know. How's it feel, y'all? You like going to city council meetings? Just be like, okay, thank you. Next. Next. All right. Hopefully you like that, but I've gotten to the point where it's pointless speaking to these people. I'm going to speak to people above these people. Period.
Well, we speak to the people that really count at the end of the day. It's the citizens of Bella Vista. That's
and we speak to the people that are above these people.
Yep.
Every time we go live.
Yep.
All right, we're going to go over to this. This is Lori Frank giving a well-spoken speech.
Awesome
and
job.
I thought maybe somebody would say something, be like, well, this isn't the case. We're not ostracizing you. We're not treating you people badly. No, nobody said nothing. So that's cool. Whatevs. Here we go.
My name is Lori Frank. I'm from 8 Ida Berry Lane. I own an STR, 2 LTRs, and I'm also a permanent resident. Last week, I and 8 others spoke before the Senate Subcommittee for City Council and Local Affairs regarding SB 197.
I want to pause real quick. We got a comment here. We can thank Walmart for killing Bella Vista. We don't want bike trails behind our house. Oh, I deal with bike trails behind my house, man. My dogs are barking their butts off these days, too.
Yeah, they're all over.
Bella Vista has been incorporated. The POA needs to go away. To use a boat on the lake, you have to pay state taxes and POA fees. I think we said that last Friday. It's double taxation without actual representation, right? Like for me to use a boat in Bella Vista, I have to have state registration, I have to have insurance, the whole 9 yards, right? But then on top of it, I have to pay extra. But now it's not exclusive use for me, right? Or a POA member because they've opened our lakes up for guest passes, right? What is the benefit of being in a POA when it's open to the general public?
Right.
That's my complaint, right? And then we're doing this 3 for 3, because we have to supplement everything so that our restaurants can undercut newly established businesses in Bella Vista and basically effectively cause them to shut down from time to time. So I'm going to let Lori talk, though. Sorry about that, Lori.
I'm here today to correct, for the record, something that Councilman Wilms said at the working group meeting. He said, and I quote, "There was a lot of putting Bella Vista down by those who spoke. Last I knew, Bella Vista was a place, and not one of us said anything against Bella Vista. We love Bella Vista, and we love being homeowners in Bella Vista. But this type of antagonizing language has been pervasive throughout this long ordeal, sometimes to the point of fabrication. We are tired of being called out as bad actors, outsiders, or people who run party houses. We are accused of ruining neighborhoods and to the point of almost being thugs who can't attend a meeting with those who oppose STRs without the police being involved."
Yeah, because that did happen, right? That did happen, right?
Yeah.
We're going to rock. These people are going to have words. Oh, no, not those scary words.
Yeah. Well, they asked for extra security at the end of December when Pete was wrapping up, and they had a few police. I think there was 3 at one time.
Yeah, there were.
So, yeah, she's right.
Scary words.
Well, the captain's
And lastly, we are tired of being referred to as self-serving and greedy. As much as you think we are running a business, which the state Supreme Court disagreed with, we are homeowners who offer a residence on a short-term basis and who bring in tax revenue.
Amen.
The data we have supplied repeatedly to this group shows the fear is much bigger than reality. I say we are homeowners who happen to own STRs, and we are speaking up for our homeowners' rights. We are using our constitutional rights as citizens of the United States and this state because we believe our rights as homeowners are being restricted. What we pointed out last week in Little Rock was that local control is attempting to subdue our homeowner rights. By your onerous policies, your restrictions, and your fees, our rights are not equal to other homeowners. We ask that you apply policies across the board or not at all. With SB 197, the state is trying to level the playing field. After all, in Arkansas, owning a property right higher than other constitutional sanctions. I know the counter to this argument is our neighbors believe their rights are being restricted. But there are policing powers for those bad guests that are not being utilized. Just as there are policies in place for bad long-term renters as well as permanent party residents. Please vote no to sending an opposition letter for SB 197.
Boy, look at old Jason over there, man. He's like, are you gonna let her like continue to talk after like the second or third beep? You know, like look at him. He gets that little look in his eye, man. He's like, get ready to silence her. She's gonna keep on going.
So she made some great points. The biggest one I thought there was the fact that, hey, we've talked about this. It's just enforcement by the police, the noise, the disorderly conduct, all that stuff. The unfortunate thing is all these bad actors have come up here and had their 3 minutes and said they're catcalling, they're drinking, they're going to the bathroom in my yard.
But no documented reports of that at all, right? No data to supporting, no supporting. Like we always say, you know, in the military, we always said this, man, do a report of contact. If you think that this might come back and blow up and hit you in the butt, do a report of contact, do a personal record, do an email, contact the supervisor. Let somebody know. That person that you should be letting know is the police department. Right. Get a record, report a contact, get something done. So if it becomes a problem, I don't know, like a Cox subcontractor, maybe, I don't know, peeing on your back porch, right, on a Sunday afternoon while they're doing trenching and stuff and digging cable up. I don't know. Might want to report that to somebody, right?
Yeah,
but
I mean,
they don't have any. Like the FOIA produced nothing.
Yeah.
Very minimal on noise, like noise or parking. Very minimal. But and I think it was Stacy, I think, compiled the data, and it was over, or Shauna or Stacy, one of the two. They compiled the data, and I think it was over like a 4 or 5 year period, Mark. And it was what? Like 20 calls about parking.
Yeah, over 600, and I want to say 635, somewhere around there, maybe a 5% incidence or somewhere in that neighborhood. But again, it's fabricated statements. They're not even factual statements, and they're actually throwing the police under the bus.
Here we go. We got a comment. 26 in 5 years, Mark. 26 in 5 years.
Yep.
Dude, really? Is this a problem? And we forget that vacation rentals used to do the same thing that these private entities are doing, right? That all these private individuals are doing, vacation rentals was doing with a higher number of houses.
Right.
Right? I don't know. What's changed? Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Except vacation rentals isn't doing, right?
But all this back and forth in his lawsuit was predicated on these issues. Right.
Why did the police respond appropriately and cite somebody? That's it. That's it, right? We already have ordinances on the books. And that's the thing that the state legislators are looking at, right? Is they want all of this is enforceable with ordinances that are equally applied across the board. You can't have parties. There's noise ordinances. What is it? After 10 p.m., I think, right? No parking on the street. That's general. No parking on the street, right?
Right.
Apparently, we're allowed to,
I could see if they
overlook that though for mountain bikers who park on the side of main thoroughfares, right? Trafalgar, Commonwealth, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Don't enforce that. But we want to sit here and come heavy-handed on property owners and taxpayers and people that are part of this community, right? I don't know. When did the city start saying it's us versus them? By them, I mean the residents.
Right. I mean, I don't think they understand they're representing us. They lose they're continually forgetting that it's us versus them all the time. And it's very divisive.
Yeah,
It
is.
And that's why we're down in Little Rock now for that very reason.
Well, you got to have some. You got to have. We got a big dog in Bella Vista, right? I mean, he beats his chest every time he gets up there at city council meeting. He beats his chest. He's like, I'm very proud of what we do. I'm just saying, And when the big dog's acting like I don't know, a bully, you bring out a bigger dog, or you bring out the old man with his boot. And that's what the people did. They went to the state. They said somebody's got to do something about this. This is overreaching, and it's not talking bad. It's not talking bad at all about Bella Vista. It's talking bad about the leadership of Bella Vista for thinking that this is okay, and they doubled down. They said the state doing this is prohibiting us from actually governing Bella Vista. No, it's not, buddy. It's not.
He's become a liability for the city and the residents. And again, if there was personal responsibility for being sued, this would be a whole different scenario. This kind of nonsense wouldn't be happening. But the fact that there's no liability and it's the taxpayers' money is the problem,
Well, and the taxpayers' money is going to go where? To this lawsuit if they win.
Yeah, there's no doubt it is. We're also going to pay. It's not coming out of their pockets.
This taxpayer money is going to go back to restructuring this to make it fair and balanced as well once the state legislature approves this, which I have 100%. I mean, there's nothing in it's such a it's an oversimplified bill. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. It's 2 pages of actual legislation, right? There's the cover sheet and 2 pages, man.
So we have a city attorney. Why do you wait until you've been served to address those issues? Right? I don't know. I mean,
shouldn't he be protecting these guys? Shouldn't he be protecting these guys from a potential lawsuit? No, they didn't think it. They didn't think people had the chops.
Right.
They didn't think people were resourceful enough to say, you know what? Rather than take this, I'm going to go ahead and spend some of my own money, and I'm going to secure a lawyer to do the dirty on them, right? For real, that's what they did.
Right.
And I've looked at the rebuttal. I've looked at the stuff, I've looked at the stuff over on Core Connect and what Jason submitted and what Story Law Firm resubmitted, or responded to and stuff. I'm like, man, it's not looking good for Perry Mason Jr., bro. It's not. It's not, dude. Michelle brought up he speaks of the Constitution when he wants to. I found that odd last night too, Michelle. When they were talking about, well, everybody has the right, the constitutional right to apply for rezoning as they see fit, and it needs to be, looked at with no bias and all that, right? Well, everybody does have that right, but it's amazing how you'll interject the Constitution when it supports a business tax base, but can create a quality of life issue for people who are adjacent to that property that you want to put in, I don't know, a Dollar General per se, right?
Right.
Or a neighborhood market or whatever you want to dream up, right?
I just love the irony. Them Williams and the city council complaining, Little Rock and the state, that they're getting into city affairs. This the irony there. They're stepping all over.
They're not getting into the city affairs. They're saying the city look, the use case of the property has not changed. Somebody's in the building, somebody's dwelling, somebody's sleeping there.
Right.
Doesn't matter. What you guys did is you took the duration of the lease and made that a factor, right? Like I'm going out on a limb here. It's probably going to take people off, but like, if we just took the duration of the lease out of this equation and we applied, I don't know, a minority group of people into this equation, do you see how screwed up it is?
Right.
Right. Yeah. Long-term rentals have more privilege than short-term rentals. Now apply that with a race, your race of your choice, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's discriminatory.
Sure. absolutely. And that's what they're going to hang their hat on, man, at the end of the day.
It's discriminatory. The use case of the property doesn't change at all.
Yep.
Right? The duration of the lease does.
Right.
It's discriminatory. Oh, and it's also discriminatory on what? The septic stuff, right? We're going to get to that in a minute. We got another gentleman who spoke regarding the insurance stuff, and we've got the Airbnb insurance stuff pulled up, ready to talk about it as well. But apparently at the work session, not all insurances are equal. I say all insurance matters. What do you say?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, and fellow citizens. My name is James McGuire. I live at 1 Nottingham Place. My wife and I moved here a year ago, and in the basement of our house, which is our 3rd bedroom, we've created a studio. So we are an owner-occupied STR that gets its sole business from Airbnb.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but owner-occupieds just had to apply for a permit, but they weren't going to be subject to the reapplication fees and what was it? Possibly the inspections or something like that.
Yeah.
So again, you're creating another use case when the use case is the same, pretty much, right? Other than the fact that you live in the house.
Well, and this is
but
what
somebody's still sleeping in a bedroom in a residential zoned property.
Yeah, and my point was, if this ever got through, this would be applied to every house in Bella Vista.
Well, your mother-in-law comes and stays with you. Your mother-in-law comes and stays with you for a week, man. I mean, apparently that's and she bought groceries or she bought you dinner. Apparently that's a short-term rental at that point, right? When do we draw the line, y'all? They went over the slippery slope, though. They did. They went over the slippery slope in Bella Vista.
But they were told numerous times. They didn't want to listen to anybody. People that had a lot more knowledge. The STR folks wanted to sit down and have conversations with them and work together, and they just didn't want any part of that. So this is where we are right now because of that.
Well, sometimes you just got to dangle a carrot out there and let them, think they're there. Because that was caught on a hot mic too. So just saying, we'll let this gentleman continue.
I'm the fellow who called Mr. Wozniak and Mr. Flynn regarding the insurance requirement on the permit application for STRs. Airbnb, I watched the video of your meeting last week, and I'm here tonight to talk about some details that seem to be missing or some misunderstandings.
Watch the video. Oh, that's why they're trying to cut, independent broadcasters out and do this with Bella Vista Community Television, who has selective technical difficulties when people speak about situations that they may not want getting out in the general public. I mean,
right.
And even the mayor, Mayor Flynn said there's a lot of people who are unaware of this whole situation, right? Well, there's obviously people in the city planning that didn't even realize that we were in a lawsuit either, right? That's because we're not being transparent with the residents of Bella Vista from a news, from a informational perspective, from a city, website perspective. Everything is so compartmentalized and hard to find, and they want it that way.
Well, they want to control the narrative, right? When it comes down to it.
Yes, sir, they do. Because, plausible deniability is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Keep them ignorant.
Expressed. I got the impression that the council members felt that this was not a real insurance policy, and we're kind of blowing it off for a number of reasons. I have 4 articles here that I printed out off the Airbnb website that go into great detail as to what it is, what it covers, what it is not. I spoke with Airbnb today. They do not issue a certificate of insurance. They provide this coverage worldwide through numerous insurance companies to their hosts. One thing that seemed to be downplayed was the exclusions in your meeting last week, and in looking at the exclusions, they're the same things you would see in any other insurance policy. There are exclusions for aircraft, automobile, acts of war, things like that are standard in the insurance industry. I spoke with my insurance agent today, and a rider on a homeowner's policy is such a new thing that he couldn't even get me any information on it. But you can be sure that it's going to add a considerable amount of money to my monthly premium on my homeowner's policy. It does not seem fair to have to pay an additional premium for insurance coverage that is already provided for me by Airbnb. And so I'm going to submit these 4 articles for your review. I don't know who I'm supposed to give them to. I would also like to comment on the item number 12, your resolution to make a statement in opposition to SB 197. In the meeting that I saw last week, the opinion of this council seemed to be that the state was intruding upon the city's rights to regulate its area. I believe that the complaints that were stimulating this whole process relate to 2 things. They relate to noise and they relate to traffic. And you already have regulations governing those 2 issues. So I think that SB 197 is actually coming out to protect property owners' rights against intrusion from local governments. And I urge the council to vote against it.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
I find it hard to have sympathy for a city council that says, well, the state's intruding on our rights to do things that's intruding on the rights to private citizens. Right? Do you see the hypocrisy in this?
Can we get rid of that turkey timer, man?
Turkey's done. Time to baste it, right?
I'm sick of hearing it, man.
Shut it, donkey. All right. Now, you don't get what I'm saying, man? It's like, for them to sit here and complain and whine about the state's taking away our rights to be tyrants.
Right.
It's like, really? You want to put your name on that document? You really want to? It's like Peter saying we should just get rid of handguns, right? We should just ban handguns across America, right? Yeah. Peter Christie did that, right?
Yeah.
Can't spell incompetent without Pete.
That's what they do in Canada, though, man. You know?
Don't you know? Yeah, you betcha, fella. Go park your car in the garage. You know? But he brought up the liability stuff, man. Host liability insurance. This is something that just comes out when you sign up and subscribe. I've done a little bit of research on there. This is liability insurance to protect you and the person that's renting. And it's not enough. Apparently, it's not enough insurance for Jason Kelly to sign off on it. But apparently, I don't know, buying a former stump dump and then lighting it on fire, it's just totally okay, right? You can't make this stuff up, man. It's just so selective, dude. We need new leadership. We need new people working in this local government that we're dealing with, man. You just can't make this stuff up no more, man. Hey, you going to put out a fire? No, man, that's on private property. Well, what the hell am I paying taxes for? Right? We're not allowed to put out fires on private property. Well, what? Yeah. Yeah, see, you guys forget we go way back in Bella Vista. Right? We got all this stuff on video, man. It's crazy, but it's selective enforcement and selective. And what I think the ultimate game plan behind this whole legislation thing is to make it cost prohibitive for your general average Joe or Jane or Lori owns multiple properties, some long-term, some short-term, right?
Right.
And she's obviously invested properly, probably using some of her military retirement and made a right decision at some point in her career to do this properly. And now this has become cost prohibitive or damaging to her investments, right? Because that's what they want. They want to make it cost prohibitive so that their buddies, pals, and friends that might end with uns or oopers can reap the rewards
Right.
of all that
Well,
Bella
they
Vista
made
has
it-
to offer.
They made it so divisive, and even a lot of the STR owners. I'll be quite frank with you. If I had properties now, after being lied to on numerous occasions by them and the backdoor dealings, I wouldn't want to do business with them anymore. That's how I am. I have to trust someone and understand that they're not going to backdoor me like that. And seeing what I see now, I would never get into that arena. And I feel bad for the people that are. And I think at the end of the day, there's going to be some kind of damages that are going to be involved with this, and we need to make them
And
whole.
these people do
Unfortunately,
need
it's
to
going
be
to be
made
on the
whole.
backs of our taxpayers, but the city needs to take care of these people and make them whole. If they don't want to deal with the shenanigans anymore, then you need to pay them the fair market value of the property and any other damages that's involved with the process. So,
well, and I mean, like, look at a 5-year investment, right? I mean, because like you've made this, so potentially these people can be made whole just by putting their house on the market, right? You know, they're potentially, not saying that in every case that's the case, right? But they could be made whole just by listing their property and getting the heck out, right? But why should, I mean, I can remember somebody asking me, oh, if it's that bad, then why don't you just sell and leave? Why the hell should I have to sell and leave?
right.
Ask that question, right? Because you determine what I can and cannot do. Who do you think you are? Right. I know my constitutional rights. You know your constitutional rights. Right. Obviously, the short-term rental people know their constitutional rights. But these people who swore an oath to the Constitution and to be a representative of people in this community are peeing all over the Constitution.
Right.
The Arkansas Constitution, the United States Constitution.
Yep.
They're doing it. And it's happening across the country.
Absolutely.
Left and right.
We see it left and right, yeah.
And so, yeah, was Bella Vista a little overrepresented represented at the Capitol last week? Possibly, maybe. But I think this Bella Vista really showed their butt. And I'm saying Bella Vista as Bella Vista City Council of how an out of control and unchecked in a good old boy system can make life hell for people who are just trying to do the right thing and they love their community, period. Right. And expect government to operate properly at all levels. Well, that's the kicker, right? We expect that. Yeah. But when you when you call the non-emergency number and say, "Hey, I want to report a crime in progress," they don't send a car. When you call and say, "Hey, it looks like somebody's getting ready to have Burning Man 2.0 over here. They're stacking up wood and pallets and decks and everything else like it's going to be a bonfire. And I'm a redneck from the woods of Arkansas, bro. I know what a bonfire looks like." Right? You might want to send somebody out and check on this, and you don't get nothing. Right? Yeah. Hey,
it's still happening, though. It's still happening.
Bro, look, man. Look, we understood there was a fire. We went and got it was 4,000 N95 masks for particulate during the stump dump. Hey, man, can we drop some of these off and just like let people swing by the fire department and pick them up if they need them? No. Yeah. No, you can't do that. Why? Because there's a liability. Liability, why? Well, because an improperly fitted mask might, create breathing problems. Or, have you been outside? Have you seen how many people are using inhalers and on albuterol and walking around with a smoker's cough even though they don't smoke?
Right.
I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know. Again, properly functioning government, right? A government of the people, by the people, for the people, working with the people in the community to ensure that everything works smoothly. I don't know. Yeah, did they take an oath? I think, did these city council members take oaths? Maybe they don't. I don't know.
Well, you know what, Chris? At the end of the day, we're really just asking them to do their job, man. Do your job.
Do your freaking
Stay
job,
in your
man.
lane and do your job. You're there on behalf of the people that voted you in, the citizens of Bella Vista. You're losing sight of that.
Yeah.
And what appalled me was at the end of it, and I know you have some video of that. It appalled me that they doubled down again. It tells me they didn't learn anything. They didn't learn anything by this
one
process.
So I say full Cindy boot in the butt, man. Full Cindy boot in the butt, dude. Hit it hard too. You know, look, sometimes the only way to get somebody right, man, is to put that boot right up that butt, man. For real, man. Just like you're gonna have to you're gonna have to do it, right? But that's the problem with this whole process, right? Is none of these people that sit up there on that city council are going to be held personally liable. None of them. When you make it to that point where you should be held personally liable if you pass something, if you author, you sponsor, and you push this thing the way that Doug pushed this, you should be held personally liable. Not the taxpayers.
Right.
You're the man, Doug. You're the man, because I know you watch the show even though you're like, somebody told me, right? Yeah, well, I heard it from a friend here.
He's been working on that.
Right?
He's been working on septic regulations for a year and a half.
Well, he's a septic guru, man. He obviously he is, right? I mean, he still thinks that they're like holding tanks in an RV, and that any moment it's going to just spew all over the highway. Not a reality in a septic system. Obviously that you have a leach field for a reason in a septic system. You don't got that in an RV, man. Look, trust me, man. It came close, man, in the toilet in the RV one time, man. Like where I'm like, what is that looking at me, man? Okay, nothing's leaking on the carpet yet. Okay, we got a dump. Yeah. So the Doug Fowler, though, he knows more about septic than most septic companies.
Right.
And you made a call today due to some stuff that was being said on the interwebs with people having struggles getting their septics inspected. And see, that's the thing. The goalpost is moving with this ordinance. Right. You wrote such a awesome ordinance. It's unclear to people who know shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We're hoping to get somebody on a septic company, local septic company, so have more discussion about it. But the ordinance, the way it was written, wasn't acceptable. It was putting the onus on the companies, making them liable. They submitted some more information. I don't want to get into a lot of detail, but they submitted what they thought would be a solid proposal that everybody could follow. And
what, the city shoot that down too? The city shot that down too, didn't they? Huh?
So my hope, like I said, my hopes are to get them on. They can explain it in more detail without getting into all the minutia. But it's just another track pattern, right? It's a pattern of not
everything
listening to
pattern.
Experts. Yeah, you're not listening to experts that have been doing it for a lot of years, and you decide you're just gonna, roll the dice yourself and try to push something through that just wasn't ready. And this is ultimately what you get right now. So the applications, there's a handful of them that have been filled out. The rest of them can't be filled out or completed. So nobody from the city had said anything and put this on hold. I don't know how you can move forward without getting
man. Hey, the juggernaut just keeps moving, bro. The juggernaut keeps moving because and the reason that's happening is because what I said earlier. They want this to be prohibitive to people that are actually doing it right, and they want to pave the way for their buddies. That's why they haven't pumped the brakes at all, even with the lawsuit and a pending injunction, basically a restraining order, right? They haven't pumped the brakes once. It's full send, right? I mean, it's like Doug sitting on a YZ490, man, and he thinks he used to ride a dirt bike whenever he was like 12. And when you grab a YZ490, man, it's a heavy dirt bike, man. Trust me, I had one up in Washington State, dude. I was riding KX 125s, 275s, and first time I got on a big bore 490, dude. Man, this is a heavy bike. First off, I had to lean that thing on a tree just to kick it over. Okay, it wasn't just right. There's a compression release on that bad boy too, but then. Like I got on it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go hit a little tabletop, right? Bike jumps, it's heavier, the physics are all off, right? So Doug grabbed on a YZ490, and he's like, full send whiskey throttle, dude. He's just holding on, and it's just full send, all right? His little ass is just in the air, It's done. We don't know how this is going to end, right? But by God, he's still on the bike, and we're still letting this thing ride. You know, I mean, for real, dude. That's the analogy of this, because nobody said, "Dude, just loosen up your grip a little bit. Just loosen it up a little bit, and that throttle's going to pull back, and then we're going to slow down, and everybody's going to be safe and fine." I would think that would be our city attorney's job, but no. He's just like, squeeze harder, and it's whiskey throttle, dude. It's straight up just full send, dude.
Yep.
We don't know what pole he's going to hit, but eventually he's going to hit one.
Like, so. He hit a lawsuit. That's what he hit.
For real, dude. I mean, look, I got to use my life experience of doing stupid stuff to put this into context, because none of it makes sense. None of it does.
No, it doesn't. Nothing surprises me.
I mean,
anymore,
it's
man.
like, dude, it's just welcome to Clown Town, bro. I mean, for real, man. But, by all means, let's spend all this money on saying, man, this place is a great place to live and call home and tour. And I mean, their mission statement's even jacked up, dude. I don't know. I don't want to beat it up too bad, but, All right, here's Doug talking about, this is the one that threw me off, bro. He's talking about zoning on this one. But he drops this nugget of information about a gas station that was built that's still zoned residential. How do you excavate in the ground and put fuel holding tanks in? I want to know this trick, man, because I wish I could have done this when they were paying people to take oil, dude. You remember that during Trump's administration, right? Like, gas is like now negative 93 a barrel, right? If I had holding tanks, and I didn't know I could get holding tanks in the ground zone residential, I should have done it, man. But apparently we can put in gas stations and let them things still be zoned residential. But what's going on? You're proud of these people? They're doing a great job?
I don't even know how that happens. I need more information
from
them.
Talk to Pete, though.
I've
heard this from a lot of builders, man. Talk to Pete. I'm friends with the mayor. Don't worry about getting a permit, bro. A lot of builders have been telling me that, man, back in the day.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it, bro. Pete's got you.
Well, you get approval from the state for the tanks. I think it's a federal too, right? I think there is some kind of.
Dude, there's got to be OSHA and everything. I mean, this is hazmat, dude. I mean, but apparently it's okay. I'm going to hit play on this one. I'm going to go hit the facilities, and I'll be right back.
And there are two others on the agenda tonight as well. Up on the corner, like Casey's, currently, right now, it's zoned as R1. Obviously, it's not R1, right? And we have parking lots zoned as P1. We have parking lots zoned as R1. So the planning department right now is going through an exercise of trying to get all these mistakes corrected. I have to ask myself, I know it's R1 right now, but if everybody kind of sat down together from the very beginning, that property very well already could have been zoned as commercial. It just wasn't. But be it as may, it is what it is right now as of today, okay? So that happened, Comprehensive Plan 2040, and I'm going to have Taylor, our senior planner, come up in just a minute because I want her to talk a little bit about the process that the attorney for Cooper Properties mentioned just a minute ago, and that is that whole planning process in case somebody does want to develop that property, how the planning department looks at it and the requirements that they have to go through. But when we went out and walked the property, kind of.
All right, you heard it, right, about the Casey's. Right. Hopefully you heard that. All right, How does that happen? I don't know. Somebody answer that question. Before we can start regulating people's private property, why don't we get our poop together, right? Well, why don't we do something proper? I mean, because again, this isn't the first case that's been mentioned over the past couple months, right? A house got built to 95% completion, and nobody ever checked the zoning on it, right? Houses are being built below grade, where you can't even use the driveway and pull into the garage. But apparently all these people over at CDS are just like the best of the best of the best of the best of the best, right?
I can't.
Somebody's
I'm trying
lying.
to figure out how this could go through as a residential, went through the whole process of the purchase, through the title companies, through the finance people. I mean, it's crazy to me.
There's
And
some
they had to get all
material
the
failures.
permits. They had to get
There's
the
material failures in the process, man.
It's not even one person. It's a bunch. I don't know. I guess I think we got to dig into that a little bit more. I think there's more into that than we think, but I just find that hard to believe. It can be screwed
Jesse
up.
goes, he's hinting at rezoning our homes. No, he's hinting at, well, who knows what he's hinting at. I mean, there's only so much word salad to go around, for real. I'm not buying what this guy's selling anymore.
Nah.
You know, I'm not. He showed his
He's
true
been
colors.
dishonest to us on numerous occasions. There's no reason to believe anything he's got to say. I mean, that's what it comes down to now, and people are finally figuring that out and understand.
Well,
that
he
doesn't have
is
the best interest
the
of
Doug
citizens of Bella
Fowler.
Vista.
He is the Doug Fowler. So
Right.
I mean, he makes sure that he mentions that enough, right?
Right.
And he is the planning person, and he is the chair of the Advertising Promotion Commission.
Right.
Which I would say that has clouded this man's judgment because he's wearing that title like it's a badge of honor, like he's done something unique other than, selling people out. For real.
Right.
You don't think this guy's involved in pay to play? I bet he is. I mean, I can smell it, how mad he was getting over the potential that the SDR stuff wouldn't be on track. And you bet your butt, man, he is losing sleep over this legislation.
Well,
I guarantee you.
And you remember this when we had the former mayor, Pete Christie.
Oh, yeah.
And people have been along this whole process for the past year. Is they pushed hard in November, December, man. They wanted to close that out hard. You
They
remember
did.
that, Chris?
Well, they even lied. Doug Fowler lied to the general public and said, it's not going to go. I'm not going to suspend the rules or anything like that. But he did.
Right.
And now this is a game plan for the city to suspend the rules, right? They have low community attendance. You don't think they're suspending the rules to get their stuff through? They tried to, how many things did they try to suspend the rules on last night?
Yeah, all the time. Emergency rules, audibles. They've been known to call audibles. Switch all of a sudden to a 360. Pete did that a few times.
Yeah.
And last year he did it twice that I'm aware of. He actually came out and switched the agenda.
These are these are the duties and responsibilities of being a taxpayer in the United States, any town, America, right? Is you got to really start taking an active role and watching these guys. These guys are slick, man. They're slick, but if you watch it, it's the same group of people, the same group of people that sit on boards of, the Bella Vista Foundation, being recommended to be on the planning commission, or the boards of the Bella Vista POA, being recommended to be on the three-legged stool planning commission part of the city, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of conflicts of interest there.
Lots
There's no doubt.
of conflict. People who are real estate brokers and developers sitting on the planning commission, approving other brokers and developers, or prohibiting them.
Yeah.
Possibly, maybe. I don't know. Just saying, throwing
Well,
that
it puts
hypothetical
everybody in a
out
bad
there,
position,
but anything with the appearance of a conflict of interest should be treated as such.
Absolutely. But that got voted down for 5 and 1 abstained.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah.
Speaking of just saying, we do have a Just Saying shirt out there on our merch store. I'm not trying to e-beg or anything like that, but I'm just saying we do have a merch store where you guys can get nice hat, nice shirt. Lori, your shirt is inbound. That snow thing messed up the supply chain, but it is inbound. We will get that delivered to your house, by the way. Just letting you know your shirt is inbound. And I think the last part, man, was the Jerry Snow, the only man in the room, saying, I think this is a dumb idea, guys. To summarize, I mean, Jerry's the only guy in the room. Yeah, this is kind of a dumb idea, guys. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. Just saying.
Right.
Well, Jesse Alexander says elections have consequences, as they say. No, I would say runoff elections have consequences. Because I didn't vote for any of these shitheads. I'm sorry, I didn't. I mean, like, just saying. But I'm still not 100% confident that the runoff was right. Just saying.
Yeah.
Opposing Senate Bill 197 and for other purposes. So any discussion?
Yeah, I absolutely support the resolution. I think we need to make our voices heard. We went through, to say, a lengthy process to get this.
There goes his demeanor.
Ordinance passed, is selling it short. I don't know. I mean,
do you not hear the frustration? Like, he can't even get, like, he's trying to find the right words because he is so angry.
Yeah.
He's an angry little man.
Get it.
He's an angry little man, dude. Can we admit that? He's an angry little man with little man syndrome.
It's down in Little Rock because you didn't do your job. It's that simple. It's that simple.
And we listened to the Bella Vistans. No, you listened to 3 or 4 Bella Vistans that were very freaking in your face. You didn't listen to the entire. Most Bella Vistans don't have a problem with it. And most Bella Vistans understand, if I have a problem with this, what do? Contact the police.
We told these guys about, I don't know, I can't think of how many shows we had the discussion on a blatant overreach of our constitutional rights. We said that. Yeah. And they have a lawyer on
We've been saying it for 6 months,
that should be
man.
advising
6 months easy. Right?
What's that?
We've been saying that for 6 months easy.
Right. And their lawyer didn't advise them what they're doing. He kept on steamrolling it. It's just like the situation of letting the mayor vote. All of a sudden last night, you see what happened? No, the mayor's not voting anymore. What happened?
Well, magic,
it was legal before.
Right.
What's
magic? No, it requires 2/3 majority, and when the mayor does a tiebreaker, what's that mean? Yeah. You've changed the whole percentage, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah. Unbelievable, man. I just can't believe this. I can't believe they're trying to justify what they did. This is what they're doing.
Let's keep going now. Let's tyrant's tyrant.
I personally worked over 1.5 years on it. We are the ones that listen to the residents and their feedback, their concerns.
He didn't listen to any of the residents. What's he talking about? He didn't listen to half the STR owners that wanted to sit down with him.
This ordinance did not begin with me or the planning department. It actually began with our residents. And again, the phone calls and emails and whatever form of communication that they decided to take. I read a quote in the Arkansas Democrat, and this was Rogers Mayor.
I can read quotes from you, Doug Fowler, in the Arkansas Democrat of why we should elect John Flynn, why we should elect Craig Honchell, and why we should elect Wendy Hughes, and why. I can read quotes all day long in that rag of a paper.
Democrat anymore?
Right? I mean, like that paper usually, like, look, I don't even buy the paper. I just have a subscription to Press Reader. Every now and then I'll read something over there. Doesn't mean I support it, but I want to be informed. That's it. But when you got, I don't know, what's his title now? I didn't need like senior editor or something like that. Chasing you out. Sorry, keep me there. Can I have your press pass? But well, we're basically saying, dude, nice hit piece that you did.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Nice hit piece that you did. I don't know, man. Mainstream media is not where it's at. Where's the mainstream media on the lawsuit? Have you seen that in the Democratic Gazette? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen anything from 4029. I haven't seen anything from 5.
I guess the only people talking about that is us over here. Because we got a death wish or something. I don't know.
They're talking about it in Little Rock. And they're not even talking about Northwest Arkansas. That's what's crazy about this whole thing.
I know.
You can't make it up.
It's because it's propaganda. It's trying to keep people dumb in Bella Vista, in Northwest Arkansas.
Controlling it. We saw it in the stump dump. We saw it in during the presidential election. We see
Yeah,
it. We see it. People are smart. People are waking up and understand
You worked
that they
in
can't get
Springdale.
accurate news from the mainstream media. They've lied to people so many times they have no accountability for anything anymore.
You worked in Springdale during the Stump Dump, man, and you had coworkers being like, let's get a little smoke or something?" And you showed them some of my drone footage, and you're
They couldn't
like,
believe it.
"Holy crap!
Mount Krakatoa.
What the heck is going on there, man?" You guys,
Yeah, unbelievable. They didn't even know. They were like, "What are we looking at? Mount Everest?"
It took so much work to even get that thing to break, like statewide, let alone national, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't think that, like, well, we're not painting a narrative in Bella Vista. I'm sorry if you subscribe to that newspaper, cool beans, more power to you. But I guess everybody needs some fill for their rabbit cages,
Greg Hines, and he said, "It is my concern with continued interference with local control by a centralized group of legislatures. If 135 people in Little Rock can manage all this, then let's just abolish the cities." So
let's just abolish. Now, is that a little defeatist and extreme coming from a guy who wants to be an aspiring pilot? That sounds like a defeatist mentality, Doug.
Yeah.
Just like you said, well, if people want to come together on this STR thing and
he's
have a
trying
meeting,
to put a spin on what he said. He's trying to justify what he's saying, and he's protecting me and you, Chris, and the citizens of Bella Vista. Okay. We got it all wrong. We don't understand what he's trying to do. Doug cares about
in my 11 or 12 years of living in Bella Vista, I don't think anybody in this community has really actually protected me. I'm really trying to think of a point where, like, man, they came to my need with the first phone call. Just like, yeah, we got you, buddy. Right? Have they ever done that for you?
Yeah, I mean,
usually it's like 3 or 4 phone calls. You call, dispatch. Yeah, we'll get somebody out there. No. Call the fire chief. Well, we didn't get a phone call. Shit. Yeah. Something wrong here. Just saying, man. Yeah. Again. But you know what? Look forward to that tax increase coming. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
We have our role locally, and
we have our role.
We follow that, and I think that it is, our responsibility, not somewhere else, like down in Little Rock with, I said, just 135 people. So that's.
It's 135 people versus 6 defunct idiots. Well, 5 defunct idiots. We got Jerry. Jerry's the only one, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like, but we got 5 defunct idiots. Or we have 135 people down there to say, man, this is probably a constitutional overreach. I don't know. We're going to probably go with those people and not you because of your track record. Just saying, Doug.
That's my opinion.
Jerry?
Yes, sir. I would like to ask my friend and fellow council member, Mr. Wellens, to request that this resolution be removed, as it serves no purpose other than to just further establish the arrogance of this council. This legislation is in response to this council's inability to pass a reasonable and constitutionally accepted ordinance.
What did you just say, Jerry? No, Jerry, no, you can't say that. What did you just say? The city council can't pass a reasonable and responsible ordinance? What did you? Oh man, dude, don't do that, Jerry.
Did you see Larry looking at him? He's just like,
"You son of a."
What team are you playing?
You son of a. Let's back that up, just real quick.
Pass a reasonable and constitutionally accepted ordinance. It's already passed the Senate with a large majority and projected to pass the House by an equal majority. The Municipal League does not want to aggressively oppose this ordinance or this legislation. They've vowed to just basically back off from it. The litigation that we have filed against us,
Again, Jerry's the only one who's brought up the litigation that's been filed against us, right? I don't think I've heard any council member say, "Man, we're being sued." Right? Nobody said that. No, odd.
Well, this is
odd.
what they do. They try to
Right?
denial.
Deflection.
They just deny it. They're just trying to sweep it underneath the rug. At the end of the day,
The municipal league does not apparently want to assist in that litigation. So I would just further remind my fellow council members that we very well may need the assistance of this state delegation sometime in the future.
No, Doug's got it, Jerry. Doug's got it 100%. All right, man. Like Doug Doug knows everything
about everything.
And he talks to everybody about everything. And
Out
people
in the
approach
street,
him at church
everywhere.
about everything.
So I know Jason interjected after he got done talking and started, puffing his chest out. Well, I'm representing the city. Well, yeah, you're the one that got us in this situation.
You have to represent the city because the Arkansas Municipal League sitting here like, I don't know what we're going to do about this one, boys. Because somebody shit the bed.
When he was well, Jason said no, he wasn't there. He wasn't there for that. Well, what was he there for? Was it like to get credits for attending the class or what? I mean, what was he there for?
I can't.
It's
What
just
a
mind-boggling.
motley crew of people, man. What a motley crew of people.
Yeah.
I do have a reply to that. That is absolutely untrue that the Arkansas Municipal League does not support local control of our city's businesses.
That's not even what he said.
It's not what he said. He said the Arkansas Municipal League doesn't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole because they've sat down in those legislative hearings. They've sat down there and they've answered questions from politicians saying, and they've begged the politicians to not proceed with this in the hopes that they can get it right.
Right. It's
I'm sorry.
and conjecture is what this
Do we
is,
want to
man.
do lab experiments with our constitutionally protected rights?
Obviously, they don't care about the Constitution.
I'm not cool
they
with
try
that.
to ramrod this thing through, man.
Right. I'm not cool with that. Like, look,
No, I'm not either.
thou shalt not.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. That's it. There's no wiggle room on that. These are constitutionally protected rights. Rights given to everybody from God. That's it. There is no wiggle room on that, bro. There's no we can find common ground. No.
Right.
No, sir. Not today, not ever, never.
Yep. So at the end, and Stacy made a good point here, at the end of the meeting, Woz came up and said, I just wanted to say to everybody, it didn't need to go this far. We were kind of aware.
Oh, yeah.
Some
He did.
citizens
He
were
did,
aware
yeah.
of what happened. Well, apparently after that, my understanding is Doug came up to Wozniak and gave him what are you doing, man? Gave him a hard time about him coming out and disclosing that it should have been addressed a long time
that's where I'm
ago.
like, Kevin, man, you got to keep those cameras rolling, bro. The hot mic moments are like money. All right.
I know.
Look, man,
I
I'm
know.
gonna tell you, bro. You got to keep those things rolling, man. Act like you're packing up some cables, man. Plug it, roll up your extension cord, but leave that sucker live.
You always
man.
get some good stuff.
Yeah. There's got to be a zinger every now and then. Just like,
Yep.
I don't know, sometimes you got to dangle the carrot out there and hope they're going to take it. But good job, man. Oh, by the way, I got to give you your campaign sign back. Give me a freaking break, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Affairs. We were just at Arkansas Municipal League meeting, a month ago, and that was a huge part of the conversation.
Huge.
Was-
All right, we're done with
about,
this
man.
guy, dude. I can't listen
He
to him
totally
no
missed
more.
what Jerry said. He can't even wrap his head around
No,
it.
he basically
He's-
he did it like what's that move? The shuck and jive, man. He did a shuck and jive on the point that Jerry was making,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
tried to make Jerry look like he didn't know what he was talking about.
Right.
It's disingenuous. Doug, you suck. How about that? How about I make it clear? You suck. You overreach. You're a tyrant. You have no business being a leader of the people because you don't care about the people. You only care about your people. This is my plea to you. Step down, move along. You've gone on the wrong path.
Right.
You really have. I've watched enough of your behavior over the past year.
Right.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
he can.
You're done. You have no credibility. Everything that you say is questionable on your motives.
The funny thing about this is that this is their plea. Like they're puffing out their chest and like, we're going to tell the Senate and how we're doing things in Bella Vista. It's like it ended up in their lap because of your incompetence. Do you realize that? Everybody up there,
They're the big dog, man. We brought out a junkyard dog. We took it to the state. The people, and I say we as the people, right?
Right.
Somebody's got to be a gatekeeper here.
Right.
What I mean, other than people getting pissed and revolting, that's the only thing, right? You have to use the process. That's why we applaud the people that are using the process, because this is the way it was intended to be used. And now you got tyrants getting pissed that we're using the process as a people, as a smart, educated people who care about rights. Because if this was your neighbor, or Chaco's neighbor or Urich's neighbor getting their rights infringed on, I guarantee you these same people would be out there supporting those people.
Right. I think, listen, if they're found liable, which we think is going to be the case, I think if he really cares about the citizens of Bella Vista, Doug would resign his position.
He needs to, dude. He's a bad penny, man. He really is. He just.
I'm just asking for him to bow out.
Just
after
to
that.
be like,
I mean,
man,
that's the best thing.
I've lost my way, right? I don't feel that this is, that would be the like the high road that he could take. He's like, somewhere along the lines, I lost focus of what I was supposed to be doing, and so to clear up and pave the way for clear and transparent government, I'm resigning.
Right.
See ya. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. See ya. You need some help out here?
If you really cared about it, you would you would tender your resignation and move on and to bigger, better things, because it's going to end up costing the city a lot of money.
But he's not built that way, Mark. He's not built that way. He's Mr. I'm always right. He's Mr. I know more about everything than anybody else. Thanks for the light, Barb. We appreciate that. And it's sad to see this. It really is. We have so much talent in Bella Vista. We have so many people from so many different demographics, backgrounds, the whole 9 yards. I mean, I got an engineer neighbor, man. I got military neighbors. I've got people from all walks of life, man, that live near. And this is the quintessential American dream of the melting pot.
Right.
But
they had nobody to blame but themselves, Chris. The tools were around them. They needed to make an effort and find the people in those positions that have the expertise and lean on them to craft some legislation.
I would say the tool has been around them, and the tool is power. Dog goes, no. Hail King Fowler, right? And I mean, you're seeing the way that these new council members are voting and stuff, man. It's scary. It's scary, dude. But you know what? As long as there's breath in our lungs, we'll still continue to use the process and our First Amendment rights to speak out against a-holes or tyrants or whatever you will call them. But we ain't going nowhere, man. Friday, 1 year show.
Yeah.
How you like me now? That being said, bro, SB 197 gets read tomorrow. The agenda is up. And like we said earlier, tomorrow probably, I don't know, their meeting starts at 10 a.m. You can watch it online if you need the link. We'll share the link out. SB 197 is number 5 on the list. And it'll be interesting to see how this one goes tomorrow. I hope it's already made it through second reading, too. All right, so they suspended the rules and went to second reading. It was sent over to the House Committee on City Council and Local Affairs, and should be a pretty quick meeting tomorrow. I know Josh Bryant's going to be over there talking about that, and they're going to have their committee meetings. He'll be answering questions. I think he's very capable of answering those questions. And I don't know. laying his stance out on this. And we'll just have to see how it goes tomorrow. And
Yeah.
I think, man, this is I don't know. I think bipartisan agreement on this one's pretty easy to get done.
Yeah.
You want the government coming into your house?
Hell no. Yep. Doug
They
can
already
thank
in
him
our
for
house
correcting his
enough,
problems.
right? That being said, we hope everybody has a great rest of their Tuesday evening. We will provide you guys updates hopefully tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know. We're working on some interviews with some great people from the state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
And we will have something really great for you guys on Friday with the 1-year anniversary show and potentially a really great interview. So tune in the next time we go live. Till the next one, we hope you guys stay happy, healthy, humble. Be nice to one another. Treat everybody
We
with a
appreciate
little
you
bit of
guys.
respect.
Have a good night.
All right, latest. If I can find a button. It's on the other screen. Buttons still work.
I'm not afraid to take a stand, take a stand. Everybody, come take my hand, come take my hand. Walk this road together through the storm, whatever weather.